All right, I think I've got it this time. Hello, everyone. I'm Robert, that guy you met today. If we haven't met, go ahead and scroll through my YouTube videos and let's get to know each other. So I think I have this new YouTube Live interface figured out. And I kind of, well, I thought I had it figured out until about 2 seconds ago. Okay, yeah, I think we've got it. Okay, and I kind of just wanted to come on first to try this new interface that they say is supposed to be easier to use, but I also, because I said one other time that I want to get better about doing live streams, but I haven't really been able to figure out what to do with live streams, even on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. Like, I know it's something that I need to be doing, but I'm trying to figure out the best way to utilize it. So I think I have an idea, and I want to talk to you guys about it now. So I'm going to give about another minute or so for people to come in. It usually takes a minute. Okay. Okay, so I guess I'll kind of start off why I'm thinking I want to do what I'm going to do. Okay. I have a friend through Facebook, or through Facebook, but also through YouTube, that does a streaming. It's kind of a streaming video podcast. Is really kind of what it is, and it's about craft beer. It's called the Brew Review, and you can actually search that out. But he does this thing. I think he tries to do it once a week. But he's kind of like me, and there's a lot of moving parts in life that keep you from keeping plans. But on this show, he has a couple of like-minded individuals that are into craft beer. They come on the show and they just kind of talk about beer and just talk, because I mean they have the same interests. So they speak about those interests, and it goes on that show. And I go on occasionally and talk about it because I'm also a big fan of craft beer and whatnot. Hi there. And so I'm thinking about doing something similar, although not about beer. Just because while I am a huge fan of craft beer and food, and obviously, I don't know that I would want to do a weekly streaming live thing about that. So kind of the idea that I had, and I'm curious how you guys would feel about it, is that through this whole YouTube experience, I've gotten to know a lot of different small YouTubers, people that we all kind of started doing this YouTube thing at the same time. And not that we kind of evolved together, but we just kind of all kind of watched each other, and we kind of we're all kind of at the same point with YouTube. And I was thinking about just having them come on together. Like, I guess there's 3 or 4 of them that I'm thinking of, and just kind of have them come on to YouTube Live together as like guests. And then we just talk about YouTube stuff and the internet and life and all that kind of stuff. Because I figure on the same sort of on the same concept as the Brew Review show. It's just 2 or 3 people that are into the same things. They get on and they talk about those things. So I was thinking about getting a couple of small YouTubers together and just kind of talk about YouTube. I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably in the next couple of weeks, we'll give that a shot. How am I? I am great, and I'm glad you think it's a great idea. So that's kind of that part. I figure just like most things when it comes to YouTube, it'll probably evolve and change over time, which is a good thing because if it is able to evolve and change over time, then that means that I've been doing it enough that I know that I need to evolve it or change it over time. That was a lot of words. You guys know what I'm getting at. So the next thing is I talked about it briefly on the last time I was live, but there are a lot of really interesting things coming up for the vlog, and I'm just so restless about it, about these really cool things that aren't happening mostly until the end of the year, like September, October. There's some really, really exciting travel vlog stuff that's coming up that I am just, you guys have no idea how excited I am about some of these things that are coming up. I've also got allergies going on. I apologize. But with all that being said, it's kind of bringing me to this interesting point with YouTube where YouTube is keeping me pretty busy. I am one person called me, well, actually more than one person has called me the most famous YouTuber you've never heard of, which always makes me laugh. But it's kind of like running this channel, which oddly enough has really been more of a Facebook thing lately because of sponsors. But I mean, this takes a lot of time out of my day, and it's not a bad thing. It's just, it's a lot. And when I'm trying to juggle a few other things in my life that I feel like they aren't as promising, it kind of leaves me in this weird spot where, you know, this is really something I always wanted to do. And it's something that I worked at for years to even get to this point where I'm still, you know, as far as YouTube is concerned, I'm still about that big. But I probably in my head, I'm way out here. But I'm kind of at this point where something's got to give. What's up, Sadek X? I'm kind of at this point where something's got to give. Like YouTube, I could never see myself not doing this. I mean, and at this point, I've put way too much work in to not do this. So YouTube is kind of a non-negotiable in my life. But some of those other things that are just lately, and this is kind of why I'm live streaming, because I'm feeling some type of way about it. But these other things have just got me, they've got me feeling like trying to pursue the other things is hurting me doing this. And that I probably could have made a lot more progress with this, but I'm trying to do too many things. Oh yeah, my dog back here. Severin. What's up, Severin? Oh, I didn't mean for you to like wake up and come over here. Are you feeling the heat, Seven? No, probably not. Here, say hi to YouTube, Seven. Say hi. Say hi to YouTube. Hi, YouTube. She's not happy about that. All right, you can go back to sleep. Go lay down. That's Seven, by the way. Right? That's Seven, by the way, if you haven't seen it. See you later, Slime Time girls. So anyway, I digress. So some of those other things that are going on in my life that just seem to be taking away, and I'm kind of at this point where I really want to prioritize. I really want to kind of take one thing and then just go full throttle. Right now, I'd probably realistically have my hand in about 8 different relatively time-consuming things. Well, at least 5. We'll say 5. Just 5 sort of big projects that just take a lot of my time. And I just don't know how passionate I am about any of those other ones at this point. For a number of reasons, and the reasons between each one is very, very, very different. But there's the main one that there's this project I've been working on kind of in the background. I've always called it my super secret project. And it has made up about 2 years of my life that I've been working on this particular endeavor or project. And it's taken a lot of time. It's held me down isn't the right word, but like it's kind of held me stationary in ways that if this project wasn't there, I wouldn't have. Hopefully that makes sense. That project to be kind of in the background of my life is taking up time as if it was like my full-time job, which ultimately it doesn't make me any money yet. And it doesn't really have any benefit for me at this current point in my, like at this current time. It's the kind of thing that it's a business endeavor. So it's the kind of thing that once everything is going and working, then yeah, I'll be able to make a living off of it. But I could be going back and forth with this for the next several years. And I am having a hard time justifying putting in that much time with that particular project right now. This YouTube thing has just been so good to me. Like, I mean, who actually is able to support themselves in any kind of way with YouTube only having, 1,300 some odd subscribers? Like, that just doesn't happen, guys. That does not happen. Like, as far as hitting Seven, what are you doing? Stop. As far as just having hit the jackpot with YouTube, I feel like that in a lot of ways. And whenever I really push to do something with the vlog to kind of, either get my numbers up or just do something different or find support from somewhere, it always works really well. People have been very receptive to this. So since I've been kind of doing this part-time, so to speak, not really part-time, really full-time, but where my time has been split, I just wonder, what could this be if I could devote 100% of myself to this? What could this be? Or what could this have been in, let's not even say the full 2 years, but let's say a year. Like if I had just took 1 year and focused only on this, what would this be? And I am just really feeling like the other things that I'm working on that really aren't going anywhere right now are taking away from this. So it's like there's all these different things I have my hand in that aren't going anywhere. And then those things are dragging this down. So it's like you have all these things that are basically neutral over here, and then this one thing that's being actively pulled down. And I don't like it. I hate it. I completely hate it. And I see you got some comments over here. Isn't YouTube hitting you with demonetization like most folks out there? So the demonetization thing, I actually came in right under the radar on. Like barely. Like I barely kept monetization by less than 10 less than 10 subscribers allowed me to keep monetization. So, but as far as being able to make a living or anything from YouTube, Google or YouTube monetization isn't the way you go about it. Like, still the money that I actually get from YouTube is irregular and minimal. Ultimately, the pay comes from, do I even have, I thought I had an invoice. I don't. But ultimately it comes from sponsors that, that I talk about. Visit Macon, which is our local tourism board here, is the biggest supporter. And then a couple other supporters that are actually helping keep this going, which is why there's really more of a shift to Facebook, because that's where those sponsors really need the content, and then it just kind of comes over here. So it's almost like by doing that content, it kind of funds the YouTube stuff. But then at the same time, if the folks a little bit, oh, Ebony, hey, lost my train of thought. So on the other hand, those other projects take up that extra time where I might be daily vlogging, for example. Because, if you've been on the channel for a while, I'm sure you've noticed that there's been this shift to almost all sponsored content. I mean, it's the same kind of content I would do either way, but somebody else is picking up the bill. And there used to be a daily vlog, and now there is not, because I'm doing so many things in the background. So anyway, long story short, I'm kind of rambling a little bit. I'm in the process of figuring out kind of what stays and what goes. I think there are going to be some people that I'm partnered with on some things that are going to be upset with my decisions, but I kind of feel like my life has sort of been on pause, and I don't want to be on pause anymore. Like, it's time. It's time for me to make things happen, and it's time for this newfound success isn't the right word, but these newfound successes to start to actually pay off for me. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. And, somebody that he's actually a business coach here locally, he said, or he looked at everything that I was doing, and we kind of made a list, and he said, okay, so out of this list, which one of these is making you money? And this was the only one. And he's like, okay, well, does it look promising? Like, do you have new things coming down the pipeline that are going to help you take it to the next level, and then take it to the next level, and then take it to the next level? And I said, yeah, absolutely. And then, we looked at some of the other ones, and they were just kind of stagnant. Stagnant or long-term. And that's probably the better way to put it, is that some of those other things I'm working on are more of a long-term thing and less a keep the lights on right now kind of situation. But I just feel like after putting in the time with a lot of the other things, that now I kind of see, or now I can be more certain about what I should be doing with my time and how I should go about doing all the things that I'm doing. Whenever me and wifey first moved back to Macon, or I guess it's me moving back, wifey moving to Macon, things have changed drastically for us since moving here. And some of that has to do with YouTube. Some of that has to do with just life in general. But a lot of that life in general stuff is lending to making the YouTube thing work better, which is even more reason why I'm like, well, maybe I need to stop doing all these other extra things and just focus on this. So I don't know. I guess this is sort of my vent session to an extent. I don't know what the future is going to really bring for my other projects and like a couple of business endeavors. But I can say that in the past, whenever I've made a decision to do something drastic, to just make a big sweeping change in my life, it hasn't hurt me yet. And I think if I do that this time, it's probably not going to hurt me now. So I'm gonna figure it out. But I'm leaning towards dumping a lot of things in my life and focusing just on this, because I think that I put in the time, and I think it's time to focus the proper amount of time into this. And trends shift so fast nowadays, it's hard to figure out what's profitable. Yeah, trends do. Trends definitely do shift really quickly. And luckily, so I'm glad you mentioned that, because the other things that I'm working on aren't really dependent on trends or a platform that's not in my control. You know, they're very straightforward. They're very straightforward business, quite frankly. You know, a product that you sell to people. Like, that's pretty much all it comes down to. But the one product is the 2-year long one, is just a very, very complicated project. It's so complicated. There's so many moving parts to it. It's insane. The other project is much simpler, but it just is very tedious and requires a lot of time out of me physically. The other ones are a lot smaller and like just online, and I can kind of do them in my spare time, but it's just something that's in the back of my head. Like the one thing in particular, like it requires me to remember every once in a while to check an app on my phone. And like that's not a big deal, but ultimately it's just something that's weighing on my mind kind of at all times. And if I have to have, checking this app and making changes to a server essentially from time to time, that's taking me away from something else creatively, I feel like. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Decisions. See, decisions are stressful. The things that have me needing to make decisions are stressful. Like, I just can't win right now with any of this. But on a lighter note, brighter note, if you look behind me, I am coming to you from what is my new office at home, my new home office, and there's nothing here. There's absolutely nothing here. And I'm looking forward to doing some pretty cool stuff to this room once I get a little extra cash to do that. So yeah, hopefully the kind of program show thing that I was talking about, I think we'll be using this for that, and that'll be pretty cool. So anyway, you guys just kind of let me know what you think down in the comments. What have you had to do when you were kind of at the cusp of having to make a major life decision or a life change that you're kind of unsure about? I haven't had to do it in a while. And with this one, I'm really not sure, but I know So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. And thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll see you next time.